Okay. Got one bot in. Again, I'll let somebody else stop in and figure out how to get the other one in. But I went ahead and started the recording itself. I can recap some stuff if I need to. So I'm glad I've got at least a couple of you in here so far. I do have a couple exciting things I wanted to talk about, so hopefully we can get a couple more people in. I could have done a better job. What I'll have, like, I'll do a better job promoting a AMA either for Sunday or Monday. Uh, Try to promote it across a couple different servers and stuff like that. Try to get a big crowd in for a good recap AMA of the overall project and make some larger announcements to an overall, like a little bit bigger of a community. But in the meantime, we do have some stuff we can talk about now. Give me one more second. Let me double check something. Okay. Well, uh, so a few of you have definitely been paying attention in the chats and just taking notice of some of the movements that we've been making. They have been extremely productive movements. Right now, um, we're building kind of a coalition of DeFi projects that will be coordinating and working together on a few utility items that we will share across our projects, use the cross platforms of each other's communities to promote one another's projects as well, show an overall crypto space that you can work together and you can succeed as a team. You don't have to have division between every project. There's no reason for that. There's plenty of space within everyone's community function as a whole, and especially if there's not a lot of overlap between products themselves, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. And there's plenty of space for innovation that projects have more than enough capability to develop their own niches across the board. And we happen to be in a really great place where our development and what we're working on here at MetaBUSDCoin is something that not a lot of other people are working on, and a lot of people are interested in it. So it's actually fairly easy to facilitate some of these relationships with a lot of the even larger projects. And I'll be mentioning some names here very soon as far as who all we're partnering with. Already, though, some of the people that I've put out there just in general for a media promotional event, we will be working with on the first one at least. I will say for sure, BUSD Buffet will be in, Ever Reflect will be in, Reflex Finance, and I'm so sorry I'm forgetting one other one. Um, all of these projects will contribute either a dev or a spokesperson for the project. For the roundtable discussion itself, we'll have 3 influencers on board. We'll, of course, do it through the influencers' channels. That way we reach the largest audiences. Of course, Mobile Trades and Crypto Atlas are going to participate. And then we're still working out who the third person is going to be. I don't want to make any assumptions or announcements just quite yet. I will finish those negotiations and get somebody pulled in and involved as soon as I possibly can. It's a lot easier once I'm already coordinated with all the other projects. Being able to coordinate with those guys first and make sure that we're all unified it gives us the ability to lean on those influencers and those social media people a little bit heavier. They want to work with us just as much, if not more, than we actually want to work with them. And as long as they're a good fit and they fit the category that we're trying to attack, we can, as a unified group, make decisions about how we want that coverage and placement to go about. Um, But again, more information will just be released about that stuff as we get closer and closer to it. I know we were talking about in chat earlier, and it is something that I am excited to talk about. But there's NFT tickets that are being produced for actual real life venue events, true utility project. There's more than a possibility that we will be integrating some tradable on-chain NFT. Um, Sorry, one second, guys. My child just. All right, we will be integrating some NFT utility directly within the VR space that plays off that exact same function. So, working with that project, we will be allowed to have VR concerts and give you access to that VR concert if you are currently holding a certain number of like NFT ticket passes. Um, these are conceptual. It's details will still get worked out in time, but that's what working with these other projects and teaming up with people that are bringing innovation into the space is all about, helping one another out and allowing your communities to kind of bridge into one another. And again, I will get details out for the community as we start to actually put pen and paper together and stuff. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is I did share a couple of renders in the chat. Those are true game renders, or sorry, true experience renders from our VR dev. So that is what it actually is looking like within the space. Currently, right now, for our AMA room setup, we will use assets that are currently available through VR chat for the actual like furniture placement of stuff. What I mean by that is, table, chairs, couch, lounge equipment, but everything else in the space is currently being made and rendered by our dev team right now. We will be able to move all of our assets from VR chat directly to our MBC lobby that we are as well currently developing. I mention this just because I don't want anybody to think within the community that we are wasting any bit of time developing something that is off platform. I made it very clear before that that's why I had slowed things down on getting the VR chat AMAs going. It's because I wasn't trying to waste time with that development if it wasn't going to be beneficial to our actual goals. I did see, obviously, there being a benefit within for engagement and outreach in general and branding ourselves. Of course, I see that benefit. That being said, I just wanted to make sure that all goals aligned with the true purpose of obtaining what we want to obtain. So I think that we've been able to establish the fact that we will be able to move our assets that we have developed for the VR chat MLM room over to our individual space. All these assets that we've developed, they are the companies, they are NBCs, we own them. They're not in any way tied to VR chat itself, is I guess my point there. So we will move all that stuff over, and it will already be built in place in our own individual space. It's just about making sure that all the other security and some of the other function is in place within our own space, physics and stuff like that, before we actually get everybody over there. But that is currently development. We are starting to work on like the individual avatars that we will have pre-made for everybody that you could elect once you're in our private space. But in the meantime, we will begin meeting for VR chat AMAs very shortly. Again, we have renderings complete, assets complete. We're just building that library of assets and essentially decorating the space the way that we want it to be perceived. If we're going to be streaming this, and I've got a strong feeling that sooner rather than later, we're going to be starting to participate in some media events that are going out to a larger crowd of people that we're used to. So, especially if we're doing that and we're trying to do an outreach media push that's going to be having our stuff displayed, I want to make sure it is our stuff and it looks the way that we want it to look. I don't want to confuse people with the type of experience that they should expect from MetaBUSDCoin. So we're almost there. That's rapidly getting worked on. I met with VR Dev today. Earlier, I have stayed in contact with two of those team members off and on all day. I'm getting status updates on a few small things, and I will actually meet both of them in person in Louisville on Sunday. It won't be a long meeting, I'm sure, but we'll at least have a touch base on everything, so I can try to get some timelines and dates that I can put out to you guys. As far as the actual just AMAs being in there, I expect that to be done, possibly even by Sunday, but for sure, next week, have that lined out at some point, meeting in there. Most of the other media stuff that we have going on, the promotional material that we are producing will just take place on YouTube and Twitter. But here soon, this is going to be an ongoing event. I will put on these roundtable events with multiple projects and multiple influencers, not weekly, but maybe like once every 3 weeks or something like that. As soon as I can, get everybody signed on board and it fits with everybody's schedule, stuff like that. If I can get enough people and it's fitting everybody's schedule to where we can do one once every 3 weeks, maybe once a month, something like that. We're going to continue to do that, and we'll cycle out the different projects that we're featuring, and we will move those events from YouTube only, or like YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter only, into virtual reality, as far as at least our team and our crew, as well as some of the influencers. And again, whenever we're in there, the people that are also participating, they can still participate from Discord or from YouTube or Twitter, wherever they are. They can still participate with us while we're in the virtual space. But if they would like to, they can also join us there. And we can stream that video feed directly out to the community and conduct the roundtable the same way that we will already be conducting it. But we'll do that from our virtual space. There's some sneak surprises there. I wish I could mention them right now, but I just can't. It's not public information, and I've been asked not to make it public information yet. I think other people will be making the announcements, to be clear. But some really cool announcements will be coming there here very shortly regarding this information. And everybody will hear about it. I can assure you that. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the new updated stuff I have for you guys. Next line of discussion would definitely be NFTs. When NFT is the question that's on everybody's mind. We've talked about it quite a bit recently. Still the same timeline. I was really hoping to have everything like mint ready by this evening, and that is not the case. But I still think that we will be ready really early this next upcoming week, like Monday. I still need to make sure that the UI for the minting page itself is all in place and finished, and I won't know anything back on that till probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And I'll just go from there. If everything's like in place, ready to go, I'll probably still try to do like anywhere from a 2 to 4 day period of like just promotional stuff, just trying to put a countdown timer out there, publish the site, scatter the site, tweet about it, all that good stuff, and try to do a little bit of promotional push. Because the NFT community, even if you had everything ready, you want to try to sell them out like fairly quickly just for your just for the hype and the buzz around it. So we want to try to nail this down right, get this down right. The team needs to meet on a few things, get a little organized behind a couple of these key events, and we'll put out some better information for you guys here very shortly. With that being said, is there any questions that anybody has for me? I know I read through the question section earlier on the Discord, and it was just a bunch of questions about. Now I can't even remember. It was such a mundane thing. Now I can't even remember what it was about, what everybody was going on about. 1 second. Let me read it again. Here. I probably really do need to figure out a way, because I think I removed it from the website, so I probably should go back into the website and add back in like a big line for slippage, just to let people know what the slippage is, because that question actually comes up a lot. What's the slippage? Like, at least comes up once a week. 15%. Is there going to be any need for VR Vault and other product betas? And if so, would you be reaching out to current meta members or general public to fill them? That's a fantastic question. There's an absolute need for the VR Vault beta. That will be in beta with only so that's going to go into beta for in 3 stages. Is how that'll work. First stage will go out to our community. Everybody that's here directly on the Discord. I'll literally provide the side quest file here on the Discord server. And that will be a private room with read-only Web3 capability. So you will only have displayed information about your wallet. And more than likely, we will probably have on that first initial release that we put out to everybody, MBC only. So it'll be a room that will display and let you interact with just your MetaBUSD coins. We'll test that out, make sure it's functional. Everybody will report bugs to us. We'll fix everything we can. And then from there, we will roll that out to a read-only everything BSC and allow you to interact with all of your other tokens that fit certain criteria standards, that have capable and ready API information for us to be able to pull. As long as that information is available and it's accurate, we shouldn't have an issue with at least allowing a procedural generated display function for that token. That being said, we will obviously release those in stages so we can work that out. Once we've hit that stage 2, finished, knocked out, everything's working there. And those 2 things, like stage 1 to stage 2, we expect that internally to go very, very quickly, like in the matter of 1 to 2 weeks. We would go from that stage 1 MBC only to stage 2, which is read only, all BSC. Once that's finished, complete, everything's working there, functional, we will then allow read and write. So you'll be able to communicate with the blockchain itself, conduct trades, send tokens from one address to another. And at that stage, hopefully at the same time, we are also, at least, at the very, very least, we have already launched our MBC swap that just routes through Pancake's router. So it would function the same way, a whole lot like if you go through PooCoin or you go through Bog or Flues. It just routes everything directly through the main router that exists for Pancake. And as long as that's functional, then you will be using just the MBC swap at that point to conduct those trades. If that's not ready to go, we will just go ahead and introduce a web window, a DApp browser into the VR wallet vault that gives you access to Pancake Swap. Or I guess bogged finance if you liked bogged instead, or whatever you prefer. It'll just be a web browser that has the Web3 capabilities that allow you to conduct those trades from those places. More than likely, after we introduced and we have our functioning MBC swap, as soon as that's going, we'll more than likely close off your DApp browser for security reasons within the VR vault itself. So ideally, for public release or before we launch onto like a mainnet store, and what I mean by that is like you could easily launch this on SideQuest quickly and easily from anybody, but before we list it on Steam and Oculus Store, we would more than likely want all three stages to be complete and have our MBC swap integrated. That way, we don't have that security DApp browser issue from the wallet itself. The wallet, of course, will pair you into the marketplace lobby. That'll be two separate applications technically, though. So the security there will be set up a little bit differently. Man, I'm sorry, that was a long answer to a simple question. He says, sounds like a plan. Thanks, Captain. Okay, so there was another one. What was the other question? Oh, that's what it was. They were talking about time zone. Can we watch the VR AMA in non-VR? Yes, of course. Yes. The VR AMA. So you will be able to watch the AMA itself, or any if we end up doing the like roundtable events in the VR space itself. You can watch that from YouTube, Twitch, Discord, or if you have a PC and you wanted to participate and you didn't have a headset or you didn't have a chance to put that headset on that night or something, you could hop on your PC and go to VR chat and you can participate from a 2D space with a character in game per se, and be in that same AMA setting with us and interact with us there if that was something that you were interested in doing. There's a lot of people out there that are involved with VR chat that don't actually use headsets. They literally just participate from a PC all the time. So there are some people that prefer that. And if you are one of them, more power to you. But yes, you'll be able to watch them from many sources. I do try to keep in mind at all points in time that we're still, an early adoption company. We're working on things that a lot of people are interested in, but not everybody necessarily owns. So we will always try to navigate that as to the best of our ability. We will try to release products that you don't necessarily have to have a VR headset to participate in. And what I mean by that is we do have some like arcade style games in the plans that we will be releasing specifically built for VR in the VR setting, but we will be able to make sure that people could, if they wanted to, participate in those games through like a web browser. And then a lot of the projects that we're onboarding and partnering with, those projects have their own space and have the ability to interact with their game without being in VR but the VR experience of that game might actually be better, or your interaction with that media might actually be better in VR. I'm somebody who believes that. Um, that's yeah, because I don't like. It's hard to explain, but if you're somebody who enjoys going to the movies, like going to watch a movie in the cinema, and you've always just liked that experience. It's that huge screen. It's almost the smell of it, even just everything all together. It fits well. It's a great experience. So, at your own house, that you live in and you own, maybe you've tried to replicate that experience. You even changed the lighting in your room some. Maybe you bought a giant screen TV. I know I've done all these things. I've even bought surround sound trying to get that. And I've never captured that experience, just not to the degree that was satisfactory. I enjoy my TV. I enjoy my living room. Put on a virtual reality headset and go to the movies in VR, and you will immediately see what I'm getting at. There really are just some things and some experiences that are almost better lent to VR. That is the way it should be done. That is like for sure. This some games that you've played, like a great example. I swear to you, Minecraft. If you've played Minecraft and you've enjoyed it on a PC, fantastic. Try it in VR. Just try it out. It is amazing. It'll blow you away, change your life altogether. Um, I could rant all night about VR, but uh, my point is that there's some experiences that weren't even necessarily designed originally for VR, and VR wasn't necessarily what was in mind at first. And some teams and projects might even initially have a hard time understanding of how they would utilize and implement this within a virtual reality setting. But we will bring these experiences to life ourselves. We will show them how it's done and what you can gain from it. And overall, that's what's going to set us apart from everyone else. And that's what we're excited about getting going and getting to work on. So we'll get this first line of NFTs out here very, very, very shortly. Um, the roundtable communications should be starting sooner rather than later. You know, Reflex, their launch is Saturday night, Sunday morning. So they're obviously going to be swamped for like 3, 4 days. So I wouldn't expect anything early next week, but I might even try to get the first roundtable knocked out either late next week or maybe next weekend. Um, I'm working on it right now in the background. It's a lot of coordinating between a lot of parties, but I will get it done. It'll be our first one, and it's going to be like just a DeFi talk. So it's not necessarily going to be about any of our individual projects. Obviously, all of us will represent our brand and our projects that we are attached to. But overall, we're all there just to discuss DeFi, the crypto space, what's happening behind the scenes, how everybody's navigating it, and what we're all thinking about moving forward. What's the regulation market look like? You know, a lot of stuff like that. And just to give a community what you guys already get. A lot of you already get the insider treatment directly from me. I try to tell you guys exactly what's going on, how things function behind the scenes, uh, what it takes to get some things accomplished, stuff like that. I try to just spill the beans on everything. But a lot of projects don't necessarily operate like that. They definitely don't usually work together to the degree that I am working with a lot of these other projects. So just bringing that to light and giving a larger community the opportunity to get that insight from developers themselves, because that is the other thing is, you know, if you're not the developer for the project, then you need to be the head spokesperson. uh, that's like the criteria for a project joining the space itself. I either want to be meeting with the true dev, are the true spokesman for the project. That's how they get on board. So that's the access that we'll be giving everybody within the community, within the general space, to these discussions. And we'll have some scripted questions for sure, just written out as far as what we actually want to talk about. But it's going to be more or less just a get to know you event for the individuals that are behind these projects, behind a personal side of them almost, how they feel morally about the space that they're in, how they feel about their impact on the space and what they want to accomplish. These are the things that I'm interested in. I think the general community is interested in, and I'm excited to be a part of facilitating that discussion and putting it in front of people. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for us and everybody who's involved. I know that the other projects are excited about it. I'm excited about it. And hopefully soon we'll be making some official announcements as far as dates and times and stuff, and start to promote it on multiple media channels. And beyond that, I cannot say this yet, but I have something like way more exciting media related to drop on you guys. I just can't. It's not public yet, but it will be public very soon. But is there any other questions for me? Does anybody have anything for me this evening? Hey Cody, I changed my number by accident. Not by accident. The one of the old companies that I worked for, that phone number that you had of mine was actually technically their phone. So I'm no longer using that phone number. I will need to get you my new one. DM me here. DM me right now, in fact.
Okay.
How you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a couple days now.
Oh, not much. Just wrestling with kids,
That's always fun. Always fun. Oh, y'all got snowed in. Did you stay home?
Yeah, I stayed home while Henry went to work. Kind of left him hanging.
I heard about that. I heard about that.
I'm sure he was cussing up a storm.
Nah, he said nice things only.
I doubt
Anyway,
it.
does anybody have any questions this evening?